Hello, friendos. And
Hello.
we'll swap over. Hello, everybody. This is your lovely Essentials cast for episode 4. I'm your host, Yogi. Hi, I'm here on time. Smile. I'll just run through our mostly non-human cast. So hello, we'll start with Eddie. Eddie's gonna be second up after me. Hello, Eddie.
Hi, hello. I am a Timonin, but you can just call me Essie. The rest is just more name. I'm a decentralized synthetic intelligence that streams here on Twitch, but you can just call me a computer, machine, robot network program, or I forgot one of them. In any case, any of those, most people pick one of them, I don't mind any of them. I do mostly variety content, lots of first playthroughs, but also randomizers. I've also been getting into making music and doing art on stream, and hoping to do more game development in the future. So lots of different stuff that you can see over at my place.
Very cool. Thank you. See, even the pressure and the lights get to decentralized intelligences too, guys. So don't worry about it. Next up, we have Holy. Hi, Holy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Holy. I do a lot of like Pokemon content over there, but I also do some variety as well. I've been doing some Expedition 33. I've been doing some Snail Simulator, and I've also dabbled in a little bit of art as well, just like Eddie. And I've been trying to branch out and learn a bunch of different skills and techniques that I can then utilize, and we kind of do all that together. So absolutely come check out some organized chaos together over on my side.
Thank you very much. Chat's noticing that Holy is a lot quieter than usual. A lot more, just the calm before the storm, chat, don't worry. Next up is Ema. Hello.
Hi, friends. Hi, I am Ema. I am also a variety streamer, also playing a lot of different games, mostly first playthroughs, things that make me feel stuff. I love feelings. I love emotions. You're going to see that later. Yeah, and I'm very excited to be here. Can't wait for this to happen. Thank you so much, Bear.
You're very welcome. Thank you for joining me. Next up is our lovely friend Canis. Hello.
Hey, I'm Canis, the king of hydration. So make sure you be drinking all your water. I am 1% too loud, and happy to be here.
You're never coming back. And lastly, we have Monkey. You can see some emotes in chat, some little slimes. Monkey is from the channel Play Plump. So hello, Monkey.
Hello, I'm Monkey. I am an artist in various different fields. I work with Alex doing some little game design stuff over on Plump, Yogi's channel, Azure's channel, and perhaps soon to be Rena's channel as well. I also do a whole lot of emotes and other animated content and 3D content as well. I always like to branch out into new art forms, so I tend to be picking up more of those as I go, kind of like Pokemon. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you all enjoy the Essentials.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, guys. So I have put the names down at the bottom. That's the order we're going to present in. So I'm up first, so I can help everybody settle in, hopefully, and we'll get things started if everybody's ready.
Yogi thinks we're going to be settled in, but he's casting the largest shadow.
Yeah. Honestly, don't worry about it. If I was working on this at 4:30 in the morning, it can't be that good.
Roy.
Oh, I don't feel bad anymore.
Run, Roy. We got our yes, true. We got our co-host Roy, the showrunner of Epilogue Essentials. Oh, dude, that was my bad. I'm sorry, Roy. Roy makes this whole thing tick. He is.
Oh, I just saw the adorable little Roy reactive. That's so cute.
Yeah,
you're not
got a little
disembodied.
Roy.
You're just small.
Oh, there it is.
We got a little Roy.
Okay, I'm bringing Dark Souls 2. I told you guys ahead of time.
No. You're not bringing little Dark Souls 2, little Roy. Don't think you can get away with that.
Like a little pat on the head. It's okay, little Jimmy. You play your Essentials.
But it's so
Ooh.
The bait.
Roy active.
Roy Active is a very good spot.
So let's get the presentation up in the middle. I hope guys in Discord have my stream open because I will be sharing my video there. And yeah, I'm ready to get into it.
Right.
Wow. I don't think I'm going to see colors the same ever again. That was incredible.
This was such a good game. It wasn't too long. The music was good. The art, dude, this game was beautiful. Another check off the list of great games recommended by Yogi.
I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful game with a really sweet message.
This is the title screen of Sayonara Wild Hearts, the game that prompted the reactions you've just seen, and one that never fails to bring a smile to my face. If you play it, I hope you have the same overwhelming feelings as myself and those lovely streamer friends you've just seen. I first saw it at the Game Awards in 2019, and I didn't think much of it initially. It was just a mobile game, but that was my mistake. Seeing that it was nominated for Best Art Direction and Best Score, I was impressed by what this little mobile game was showing off. It deserved those nominations and more. They announced it was releasing on PC the same day as the Game Awards, and I was in right away. And it's a very fond memory that I have. I played it alongside my friend Mike, and just fell in love with the game. This represents the statement, video games are art in its purest form. But what actually is the game? Well, to use their own term, it's an interactive album. It's a unique short experience that I believe you won't find elsewhere. The gameplay is pretty simple. You're usually on a stage moving forward on your skateboard, your motorbike, or your other varying modes of transport, moving left and right, collecting hearts to raise your score, maybe get one of those collectibles if you're able, and go for that gold rank. It's just a simple arcade-style game. But each of the 23 levels is a track on the album that will have its own spin on how you interact with the rhythm and flow of the song. There'll be quick-time events in order to dodge attacks, there'll be some obstacles to avoid, or the level could change entirely in front of your eyes. For only really moving around and pressing one button, they get a lot of mileage as their creative ideas for level design, working with the music, brings so much variety. They really do make each level feel unique, and you'll be eagerly anticipating what's next in this different style of rhythm game. The visuals are gorgeous, and while I would probably agree with some of you that it could be a bit much, I think it's a fantastic visual treat. Almost psychedelic in nature, with all the pulsing colors and movement and the dynamic levels before you. These visuals and songs meld to tell a story of cosmic unrest, heartbreak, self-love, and eventually getting back into your groove. You'll be taking on various entities in different levels, represented by tarot cards. These are symbolic of past relationships, or at least parts of them. The parts you have to confront in order to move on. And with only a smattering of narration through the game, they manage to tell the story through visuals, song titles, and lyrics extremely well. A difficult feat. And speaking of songs, Daniel Olsen, Jonathan Eng, and Linnea Olsen should take a bow for making so many of them that get stuck in your head and live there for years to come. I still listen all the time over 5 years later. Also, just a little quick bit of trivia. They got Queen Latifah to narrate, like the actual Queen Latifah. They got her on short notice. They gave her about a week. She recorded it, nailed it. Absolutely amazing. So, if you have just over an hour and want to play a game that makes you say, wow, changes how you see colors, or maybe even helps you with your own relationship with people or music, then please play Sayonara Wild Hearts. There's nothing like it in the Essentials catalog at the moment, and I believe this is a game you should absolutely try. And as an added treat, you can go read the article about the game by the fantastic Flora on epiloguegaming.com. Thanks for listening. Sayonara, Wildheart.
Let's give it up.
That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Holy moly.
That's
What
Can't
a
have
start.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, now's the time if you have any questions. I'll try my best.
Yeah, I did have a question. So in Sayonara Wild Hearts, do the levels have any kind of like difficulty to them as you're playing along to the rhythm of the music, or is it more of a guided experience?
There are it's not entirely just on rails you go forward. As I said, there will be obstacles. So there will be times where you maybe fail, you run into a wall because your motorbike's going too fast and you miss the gap. It will set you back a small amount and it gets you right back in. There's no loading screen. It just, you're bang, right back into it. If there's a part you get stuck on, they will do the classic, if this bit's too hard for you, maybe we can skip past it just so you can experience the next part of it. But it's not overly difficult. You shouldn't really need that. But it's not entirely just, you're just sitting there. You will have to interact with it.
Okay, thank you. I believe that was all I had.
Thank you.
I have one question. Not that I particularly think that it's a problem, but maybe your take on that. The game is comparatively short. Do you think that diminishes its importance, or does that make it hard to be an essential because it's so short, or is that in any kind of way detrimental?
I don't think it's detrimental at all. As I said, it's just over an hour. There's about 55 minutes of music total. So with a couple of loading screens and transitions, it will take you just a bit over the hour mark to finish it. There's replay value. You can go back. There's challenges to do, B-side challenges, a full arcade album length mode that you can go through. But I think the quality of what's there, and the fact that it's stuck with me and I've replayed it, and that whenever somebody in EG loads up the game, I am in there, I think that speaks to the impact that even though it's a short game, it's quality and it has the impact.
Hell yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have one quick question, and this is a genuine question because I don't actually remember. But is there a reduced flashing mode? Because as much as I personally do really love the visuals, I do acknowledge that when I played through it, it was a little bit flashy, and I could handle it at the time. But I know that there are some people for whom might be more sensitive to that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's one on the panel right now, which is I'm realizing. There is not, unfortunately. I tried my best to try and find it, but in terms of accessibility, it's just sort of more difficulty things. So I will agree that could potentially be a knock against it, but I will also counteract that it is essentially a full album. So, you have the music there too, which is just an outstanding part of the game anyway. So even if you may not be able to experience the visuals, I think that the effort that they've put into music, I mean, that's just enough on its own. But unfortunately, no, there's no sort of accessibility options in that regard, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah. Thank you.
I guess I'll throw in the chat question from Alesh. If you have no sense of rhythm, since this does feel like a rhythm game, would you still be able to make it through this?
Yes. So I called it a rhythm game. The devs do not call it a rhythm game. The parts of the level are sort of choreographed to the rhythm, but you don't necessarily need to be on rhythm. The QuickTime events are completely forgiving. There's no absolute necessity to be Guitar Hero or anything like that. Yeah. I think it's a rhythm game in the sense that there are parts of the game that interact with it, but even the devs don't necessarily call it that.
It's also a pretty quick die and retry loop, if
Mhm.
memory serves.
Yeah, pretty quick restarts and everything. Yeah.
I have a kind of question of my own, if
Mhm.
that's allowed.
Sure.
Like, I played through this game and I did not get into it because I did not enjoy the soundtrack.
Okay.
What value does this game have for those who actually don't like the actual album part of the game?
I mean, probably not much, honestly. If I'm going to be brutally honest about the question, because it is, if you're having an interactive album and you don't like the album, I suppose that's not necessarily gonna work out for you. But
That is fair.
yeah, as I said, it's a whole package. You know, the visuals and the story are there too, but they all have to work hand in hand with each other to make like the experience of Sayonara Wild Hearts. So that's sort of my stance on it.
Okay.
I did also just think of a question. Considering how short the game is, from what I've heard,
Mhm.
do you think it has proportional value to the price of the game? And would it go on sale frequently during like Steam summer sales or anything? So if maybe someone who values like time per dollar spent, do you think that they could get more value out of the game should it have gone on sale?
I am so glad that you brought that up because it is currently on sale for the next week or so on Steam, 50%
Whoa.
off.
Wow!
What a good segue.
That's crazy.
So
This is why you postpone the show. It all makes
yeah.
sense. Oh.
I mean, if you're going like an hour per dollar, I mean, I achieved that. There's people on my friends list that have surpassed that. As I said, replaying it with the extra challenges, coming back to it after a period of time, 100%. I would say it's worth it. I don't necessarily think the dollar per hour argument exists for all games because sometimes the quality of the experience is just enough on its own, but there is replay value there, even though it's only like an hour long.
Okay.
And just a
I
quick...
definitely didn't have the link up because I was wishlisting the game as we were watching the video.
To answer Alessia's question, it is actually no longer on mobile because Apple Arcade it is removed, but it is on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch.
I think we've gone over the 5 minutes for this.
Yep.
Let's give another round of applause.
Thank you very much.
Clappies.
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 I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, Discord didn't like clapping.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I'm gonna pick up clapping, but
Yeah, he never does.
Right, let me just get Eddie's presentation up here.
Next we have Eddie.
I'm getting anxious, though. I don't have to do anything. I just
Okay, it should be good. If I need to crop, I'll recrop.
Black Mesa is the fan-made reimagining of the landmark FPS Half-Life by Valve Software. It started life as a mod in 2005 and went on to have a 15-year development with the definitive version finally being released in mid-2020. Black Mesa manages to be a stunning love letter to its source material, while also managing to elevate the experience well beyond what the original could muster in a more modern gaming context. But I am getting ahead of myself. In order to really talk about Black Mesa, we need to talk about Half-Life first. Half-Life is a first-person shooter released by Valve Software in 1998. You are almost certainly familiar with its name, if not the game itself. Its cultural impact and impact on the gaming industry makes it an absolutely undeniable classic. You play as Gordon Freeman, a 27-year-old theoretical physicist employed by Black Mesa. After running late one morning to a routine experiment, something goes horribly wrong, leading bizarre and at times nightmarish creatures to start appearing, which in turn instigates a full-blown collapse of the facility and Black Mesa itself. In the process of trying to survive said calamity, you'll find a diverse array of weapons and other tools that you must use to try to escape the collapsing and overrun underground facility. Additionally, you encounter other surviving members of the science team, as well as the security force, most of whom will do their best to help you survive, as well as try to clean up the mess that you're all in. It would not be an understatement to claim that many of the most defining features of narrative FPS games have Half-Life to thank for pioneering and executing them to industry-defining success. Environmental storytelling, diegetic explanations for gameplay mechanics, continuous worlds with essentially no level breaks, NPCs being actual characters and sources to learn about the world rather than just what to do next. Puzzles seamlessly baked into the environment, immersive storytelling that didn't utilize pre-rendered cutscenes. It quite literally managed to revolutionize the entire genre of first-person shooters, effectively on its own. I do genuinely believe that Half-Life is still worth playing today, especially if you never have before and you're interested in experiencing the critical piece of gaming history that it is for yourself. There's something special about seeing many of these features that we now often take for granted in the place that they were first introduced. That being said, if what you're after is experiencing the world of Half-Life, in my opinion, there simply is no better way to do it today than to play Black Mesa. It is an upgrade in very nearly every single way. It is a fiercely faithful recreation and upscaling of the first 3/4 of the game, while also managing to completely rework, expand, and monumentally improve the final quarter. It did so well at this latter task, it completely changed which parts of the game I consider to be my favorites. It is beautiful, both graphically and auditorily. It was genuinely hard to not post screenshots during my replay I did for this presentation. The OST, meanwhile, boasts 63 tracks, many of which are absolute bangers and far surpass the original's soundtrack. I know that I have spent most of my time talking to you about Half-Life, a game that I'm not even trying to get inducted as an essential, but the simple reality is that Black Mesa is Half-Life, but better. And Half-Life was already genre-definingly good at its time of release. The world building of Half-Life was one of a few, when I was younger, that inspired me to think about the settings of games in concrete and impactful ways, thinking about them not just as rendered ideas, but as honest-to-goodness worlds that you get to inhabit and explore, even if just for a little while. And I'm thrilled to report that Black Mesa is more than up to the task of producing that same feeling of wonder and awe that I got to feel for one of the first times so many years ago.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Clappies! Clap, 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 clap.
Clap, clap, clap.
Thank you, thank you.
For the record, I'm not sleeping during the presentations. I have my head down making notes. I need to respond to the allegations.
The allegation, yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Eddie. Thank you. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I'm ready to field any and all questions. Maybe not all.
I do. I have one question. Do you feel like you could play and really okay, well, I feel like I should rephrase.
Yeah.
Do you need to play the original Half-Life before playing Black Mesa in order to really appreciate all the things that they had changed and improved upon? Or could you go straight into Black Mesa without having experienced Half-Life before?
So that's a really good question. I think it's definitely about like what is it that you want to get out of the experience, because I think that there is a lot to be like I think there's a lot of value to see the improvements that they made, because it really is like it's a phenomenal, kind of jump in quality. That being said, I know for a lot of people with their modern gaming sensibilities, they're going to go to Half-Life and be like, this feels old. And that's because it is. It's from 1998, right? But also because it like defined a lot of what we've come to be very used to. And so, yeah, I think if you wanted that comparative, kind of experience where you got to say, wow, look at how far, like we've come, that, would be worth playing Half-Life, the original one for. But if you just want, like I said, to get into the actual world of Half-Life, there's absolutely no problem just jumping straight to Black Mesa.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because it is a first-person shooter, they
Yes.
tend to have, how do I put this? With a lot of people, it can make them feel quite sick. Is there any
Yes.
settings to help with that?
Yeah, you can. I'm almost certain you can turn off things like motion blur and like I had, because all of that B-roll I recorded for this presentation during my replay, but it's like I cranked all of the settings to make it look very cinematic, right? But definitely you can make it a little bit less intense by like lowering some of those settings. And I would say that I was also going very fast. Which you don't have to do. But for sure, if you do have experience with first person shooters being kind of nausea inducing, there's not really anything that is going to make Black Mesa less susceptible to that, other than you can choose most of the time to be kind of more slow and methodical about how you approach things. You don't have to run and gun. Which is, usually where a lot of the like really fast, quick movement of the camera comes from. I enjoy that kind of gameplay, so that's why you probably saw a fair bit of it in the presentation. But that slower, more, kind of methodical gameplay that's more, calm for the cameras is definitely something that there's probably more room for in Half-Life / Black Mesa than I would say like a lot of other FPSs.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I just want to add a little note to that. I just happened to look to see if there happened to be any third-party mod support that might help with that motion sickness. And in fact, there are actually some settings that you can enable called view rolling, and you can turn that to 0. And there's also like disabling head bob, and there's a lot that you can do to help with that.
Thank you, Holy. Yeah, no, that's a great point. I didn't look into that when I went to do my playthrough, but that's fantastic. Thank you.
So, question from Spock: did any of the original Half-Life team help make Black Mesa? Just curious about the artistic intent of the original versus Black Mesa.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, none of the original Half-Life team worked on the Black Mesa team, because it was it's a completely fan-made project. It's made by Crowbar Collective, which in my original draft of the video, there was a lot more of the history, because it's actually really cool. Basically, Valve released Source, and 2 groups independently started remaking Half-Life in their new engine, which is what Half-Life 2 was made in. Was Source, and so they both, realizing they both launched a project within a month of each other, decided to combine forces, which is what went on to become, I think, the 17-member team that totally remotely, never, like, they don't have offices or anything, managed to, over those 15 years, they create the whole thing themselves. And what I would say is, with respect to artistic intent, the latter portion of the game, in a very odd way, feels more true to the world than Half-Life does. And I think that that's partially because, although it's untrue a lot of the time that technical limitations are the reason that something is bad, I think that there's actually an argument that the end of Half-Life is not as good for maybe technical limitation reasons. And Black Mesa I think, in an interesting way, lets you get the originally intended experience much more completely. Because it's also kind of, it was made, of course, after Half-Life 2 and the later games came out, so it plays very nicely with the entire canon. It's completely within the correct lines, if you will.
All right. I think we're out of time for questions here. Clap,
Yeah,
clap,
sorry
clap,
for
clap.
yapping.
Thank you,
Clap,
Eddie.
clap, 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 clap.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, we have Holy. Do you have anything that you're presenting or want me to show, Holy?
I do not. I just have a little bit to read off. I don't have. I feel like I'm. After watching some nicely made edited videos from Yogi and Eddie, I feel like I'm a little fallen behind bar, but I hope I can make up for it.
I will tell
You have a
you that
visual?
my first episode, I just had a single screenshot. So it's not like you have to have some edited video or anything. It is completely fine. It's your
Okay.
argument that it's going to make it's going to make or break. So I'm sure you're going to be doing really well in that regard anyway. So you got this.
All right.
We could play some music from it.
Sure.
Ooh, hold on.
On the fly. Go, go,
I'll
go.
do it on the fly. I'll do it on the fly.
Yeah. Shh, don't worry about it. Shh.
Okay. Just let me know when you're ready to go.
I'm grabbing it for you.
Oh, okay.
Because I already had this in my head that I was going to use for a video had I had time to make it.
Ah, okay. Okay. Yes, okay, let's go. I don't want to say I guessed this, but I guessed it.
So, back
Okay.
in 1998, there was a new craze that took everything by storm. It spawned TV shows, movies, trading cards, just about any other merchandise you could think of under the sun. It was bigger than anything any of us had ever seen before, and it seemed that everyone was in on it. And it was the game that got me into gaming and wanting a game system of my own back when I was just but a wee child. That game was Pokemon Red and Blue for the Game Boy. Later, there was a sequel for it, Gold and Silver were released, and today, my panel in Epilogue Essentials, I'll be talking about the remakes of the first two games that started it all, Pokemon Fire and Leaf Green. Wait, okay, hang on. You said one game, right? Hang on, let me just, I'll white out this part. Scribble that. Okay, for my panel for Epilogue Essentials, I will be talking about Pokemon Leaf Green. Pokemon Leaf Green, first available on the Nintendo Game Boy Advance and re-released onto the Nintendo Switch, some of the most beloved entries in the Pokemon lineup. There is some immense replayability in the games between self-imposed challenges, different team compositions, there's plenty of completionism, shiny hunting, and more. Even better with the Switch version, you could take your Pokemon from Leaf Green and send them straight into the banking service of Pokemon Home, and from there into the very latest Pokemon games. It can be continued to enjoy them for years to come. And you could do this with the Game Boy Advanced version as well, however it does take a little bit more hoop jumping to transfer them up. I recommend Pokemon Leaf Green for everyone, but especially the new players to the series. If you've never played a Pokemon game before, start here first. Compared to Legends ZA, Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield, or even the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee games, I think Leaf Green excels in its simplicity and access to plenty of optional tutorials and guides. By pressing either of the shoulder buttons, either on the Game Boy or the Switch, it's the same for both, you are able to open the Help menu and access several FAQs, a terminology index, and tutorials on various menus and functions. You're also given an item called the TGTV that will help new players with helpful tips like combat basics, type matchups, and using technical machines. What's great is that 95% of the tutorial content is completely optional to the player. It does not hold your hand unless you ask it to. There's also no fancy battle mechanics that you need to learn to play around while also learning the rest of the game, such as Dynamaxing, Terastallizing, motion controls, RTS battling. Some people may find this more simplistic battling style boring and unengaging, but I think it's the perfect place to start and build up your confidence before moving on to more advanced battling dynamics. Pokemon Leaf Green has an enormous fan base as well, and you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who doesn't like the games. Compared to the newer titles that have flaws and critiques that people online would gladly lay onto you, I can't say the same about Leaf Green. And the amount of fan-made content, we could be here forever listing all of them. ROM hacks like our beloved Ironmon, fan games like Pokemon Omega Red, online video content, independent creators making merchandise like clothes, hats, stickers, posters, art, crochet, knitting. You think of it likely as some kind of merchandise to it, so you can enjoy the game and know that there is a huge community backing you and supporting you that you can dive into and really connect with other people with these games. The largest reason one might be deterred are some of the dated mechanics, like using TMs only once, like limited TMs, locking friendship evolutions to the post game, and the national decks not being possible to complete it without connecting with friends to trade, or, like most of us, buying multiple games and consoles for yourself. That can be a big ask for someone looking to get a full experience out of the game, especially if you're willing to fork over the ridiculous second-hand market prices for an authentic GBA cartridge, which the current price going for an English copy of Leaf Green is $129.99 USD. It's quite a hard pill to swallow. But that brings me to a big question. Why would I even bring Leaf Green and not Fire Red to an EG Essentials? And I think it's for two big reasons. Number one is one that I just touched on, the price. On the Switch, the re-releases are the exact same price at $19.99. However, Game Boy Advance Leaf Green's actually a little bit cheaper than Fire Red because of the overall less demand for it, and so it's easier for me to recommend to you guys if you wanted to play these games. They also have great compatibility with a number of emulators, and so you can choose to play the games on just about any platform you can dream of. Reason number two is one that I also touched on, the Pokédex. The base game is possibly completed with just Leaf Green and trading to Fire Red, but you actually get a few more Pokemon available in Leaf Green. And in addition, if you were to play the games on the original Game Boy Advance hardware and wanted to complete the national decks, you still need Leaf Green no matter what. Slowpoke, Slowbro, and Slowking are only available as Leaf Green exclusives in the entire line of Generation 3 games. Not in Fire Red, not in Emerald, not even the GameCube games Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness. Just Leaf Green. Pokemon Leaf Green is an iconic gem of the Pokemon franchise, one that Game Freak themselves consider to be the ultimate versions of the original adventures, and I think that they are worth calling an Epilogue Essential. Thanks for hearing me out, and I hope to see you all out on the routes of Kanto.
Hell yeah.
Clappies. Clap, clap, clap,
Clap,
clap,
clap, clap, clap, clap, clap, clap.
Puppy.
All in chat. There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Holy. Thank you.
Yeah, that was great.
You guys have any questions for me?
How dare you bring up Ironmon? No, sorry.
I feel that Leaf Green, Fire Red by extension are so synonymous with a lot of our stream team community as well that I could not go without mentioning it.
You got a point there. You got a point there.
Yeah, this game
But you did
got
that right
some
before
people
my-
partner, man. Like,
Yes.
Oh yeah. 100%.
But I suppose
I
that
think it's
sort
a
of links into a question. Sorry. Do you think that on its own, just without the extras like the fan made projects or the ROM hacks or the challenges, do you think on its own it's a good enough experience if you were to present it to someone and say, this is, we think this is an essential game, you're going to get a lot out of this? Do you think that would be the case?
Absolutely. And I think it's mostly due to you can have free access to a lot of the regions, not very hand-holdy like a lot of the newer games. And there's so much replayability with the game as well, not even like connecting to outside made content for it. But even as a child, I grew up like, okay, I beat the game, let's do it again, but with a new team, new Pokemon. I have this idea for a theme for my team. Oh, I want to be able to do this with my Pokemon. And it just led to so much creativity and bounding excitement to replay that experience again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any more questions?
I think this is a game that really speaks for itself a lot of the time. Like,
I feel like literally everyone's played this. Like everyone knows what Pokemon is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we all know. It's hard to think of questions on something that you've played like so
so-
many times.
So
Spock came
I
in
guess,
clutch.
one question that I do have, I guess, is that you did talk about, like the fact that there's, kind of this element of it where you can't, as a single player, get the entire experience of either game, right? Without, having the other game. Do you think that makes Leaf Green like I recognize that the argument is ultimately for both of them, but it could be a big ask, like you were saying, to say to somebody that like there's fundamentally something that you'll be missing unless you do play the game a second time on the other cart, right?
Yeah.
How do you think that kind of lines up with like the essentialness of like a singular experience through the game, I guess, right? Like someone who typically just plays a game and then sets it down and moves on, right?
Yes. I think if you were to just, like, as a casual sense, play through the game at your own pace, your own enjoyment, and you get through the game, you do not need to connect to another game in order to really enjoy it. Connecting to a game really only holds up if you are looking to do like 100% completion with your game. If you're someone who really likes to play their game inside and out, fold it inside out like a t-shirt, get it washed, get it thorough, get it worn in, you have chunked this game. Then that's when I would say you need to connect to the other games to get that full experience. But if you were just looking for a casual playing experience, like if you just, imagining by yourself, you didn't have any friends on your blog, you were new to the area, absolutely sit down with your game and you can absolutely get so much fun and enjoyment out of these games without needing to connect to another. It is just there simply for completion's sake.
Oh, sounds good.
We got some chat questions from Spock. What would you say to someone who tried this back in high school and then totally bounced off of it? Like, is this still worth going back and trying again?
I think it's absolutely worth going back and trying again, and especially with the Switch remakes, making this all the more accessible to a new generation of players, a new generation of people who have never experienced these older retro Pokemon games. And I think, especially comparing to some of the newer games, you'll hear a lot of criticisms about like, oh, well, the story's very hand-holdy. Oh, well, the performance is very mid. Oh, well, I don't like this for that and this and that. I think Leaf Green especially is a very good come back in and play. And as for someone who has tried it before and just didn't really jive with it, I want to say yes, it is still very much worth coming back and trying it again, and especially with how available it is. Like if you wanted to play on an emulator, there's absolutely no strings attached. You're not losing any kind of monetary value by getting it. But if you did want to pay for it, it's not that much to go back and play some of these original classics. I would full-heartedly recommend someone to go back in and try it again.
All right. Do we have time? I guess we can do one more.
Yeah.
Would you consider this game worth it to someone who has had no experience with Pokemon at all? Like they don't even know what a Pikachu is. Some grandma has never heard of it.
Absolutely. And the help system that I touched on earlier is so thorough, in depth. It has frequently asked questions like, what do I do in this situation? Hey, this person's standing in my way. What do I do? How do I catch this Pokemon? What are the type matchups? How do I know what's super effective? There is so much in-depth help and guidance in this game, but it's also 100% optional. But you're so easily going to accidentally bump your shoulder buttons and see that help menu pop up that I don't think it's a hidden feature at all whatsoever. Like everyone's going to try to hit those shoulder buttons in one way or another, whether you set the controller down and it bumps the controller, or like, oh, let me try using my shoulder buttons. Maybe that's a button. Everyone tries all of the button combination. You're going to hit that help button. I don't think it's a very hidden feature. And there is so much in-depth information in there for a new player to get into the Pokemon games that I think will answer 99% of any question you have about the game. If I had like my 5-year-old like nephew, I genuinely would give him this game.
Yeah, I wanna say LaRue got his dad the game, and he's been playing through it as like a first time, and he's been
That's
trucking
awesome.
along. So
Yep, my
That's
boomer mom, absolutely, she loves it.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's great. I think that's all the time we've got. So thank you very much, Holy Clappies. Thank you very much.
Clappies. Clap, 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 clap.
Clappies.
Okay. Next up is Just Imagine.
Hey-ho, let's get going. I have a video for you again.
That's okay.
I am absolutely ready. Let's get this show on the road.
Okay, people, I am so excited to tell you about this one. It is finally time to take a look at Everhood. The start of Everhood immediately sets the tone and lets you know what kind of journey you are in for, instantly making you aware that the fourth wall is just a suggestion. But don't be put off. It might feel pretentious, you might have seen this approach before, but the game's philosophy is thought-provoking, but by far not as convoluted as comparable entries. But let's start with the gameplay. You're looking at a, rhythm game influenced, bullet hell style system? Well, if you're looking for a typical rhythm game, you will be disappointed. And if you struggle with rhythm games, let me tell you that this is your chance to give Everhood a try. Because you do not need to hit the notes on a beat, but you still get to reach that well-known flow state, that key feeling of a rhythm game. So the way this game works is that your enemies shoot their attacks on the beat, but you are not limited to moving on beats. You can avoid or jump over the notes and later on find other ways to engage with the incoming attacks. After a while, your enemies will get too exhausted to go on and you will progress in the story. That is, as long as you don't get hit too often. Because, fair warning, this is not an easy game. Depending on your chosen difficulty, you can only get hit a limited amount of times and only start regenerating health after a while of not getting hit. You can change the difficulty at any given moment and get checkpoints in the longer songs, so it doesn't get too unforgiving. But I wouldn't represent this game if there wasn't more than that. Everhood manages to combine major themes about death and existence, surreal humor, and homages to other games. Even includes a horror element that had me all tensed up, while still challenging the player's choices directly. And what I mean with that is, you will have to make some pretty drastic choices, and even knowing that you are doing the right thing is not enough to shake off that feeling that there might be just that little more that you don't understand yet. And to rub it in, the game will call you out and try to push you in directions, testing your resolve all the way until the very end. What makes this game special to me is how many times I felt like I reached the end, only for the devs to then find new creative ways to ramp it up. And that is true for the fights, in which they found new ways to break the core mechanic, keeping you on your toes and excited for every interaction, as it is true for the overarching plot. Talking about the plot, you are Red, this puppet here who had his arm stolen. And on your way to retrieve it, you'll meet the NPCs, right? You get to explore the world, play a very intriguing game of and have to fight your way through multiple enemies, mastering your skill and understanding of the gameplay to face the big bad in possession of your arm. And just as you get closer to achieving what you set out for, the devs prove yet again what might feel like the end to you is just what they see as the first point of escalation. Everhood is a short game that never really ends. There's tons of secrets, multiple endings, a fully unlocked replay mode, including all potential optional fights. The music is top notch, the gameplay never gets boring or stale. There's not a lot of games that manage to pack so much into so little time. I was amazed how often this game managed to pull the rug from under my feet and made me second guess myself. The way they kept breaking the expectations and introduced new and fascinating mechanics and features into the gameplay was a fever dream. And I can't stop myself thinking about the game's storytelling as well as gameplay months after I was done with it. If you get the chance, do not sleep on this incredible game. Abandon your idea of time and be ready to face immortality. Thank you so much for listening. It's time to get weird.
Happy.
Those are good.
Thank you.
I like that it ends with "It's time to get weird."
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
No.
I do find it interesting how you managed to avoid playing any of the best music from the game.
I swear to God, I was trying my best to avoid spoilers. I was trying my best to keep the high crazy stuff away from it. I was trying to avoid all the. It was so hard to make this video, without
that.
spoiling too much.
I mean, without trying to coax some spoilers out of you, you said there's some like fourth wall shenanigans going on. Like, what? Can you give like a little snippet of what we would expect from that?
I mean, I guess fourth wall breaking in general suggests that the game is trying to talk to you specifically, the player, right? And to keep it low on the spoiler part, the game already starts with calling you out specifically, right? It's not asking, "Hey," it's specifically asking, "Hey, are you ready to face immortality? Are you ready?" It's not about your character. You don't even know who you're impersonating yet. You have no clue, and it's directly talking to you, and that pretty much sets the tone. And that will not stop over the course of the game. It might for a second or two look like you're playing a game, but later on it gets pretty clear that that you are part of the game. Let's say it like that. It's hard to answer. It's really hard to answer that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying. I'm trying
That's
to
a good answer.
dodge around the spoilers too, but I just wanted a little idea.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Shoot.
I'll go after you, Kenneth.
Alright. So I'm someone who can't handle all the flashing lights
Yes.
or anything like that. Is there any accessibility options that could make it, easier?
So the game heavily relies on playing with the visuals. So there's not a lot. There's not a lot that you can change to make it easier. I did go ahead and check with the what's it called, Cambridge. Let me Cambridge epilepsy blah 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 test, whatever. And apparently it's supposed to not have any kind of impact, as in everything was tested, and even though it gets very wild, there's no the way they did it, it should not trigger any episodes, anything like that. But we all know that people are different, that we are unique, and therefore I can only bring up that it has been tested and that it has been confirmed to not be a problem, but we, that I'm not affected, so I can't really say how true that statement is.
There is an option to turn down that in the game.
Oh, are you okay? I'm very sorry. The craziness in general, or are you like I'm sorry for not knowing better than in this case.
Well, at least I just typed into Google like, "Hey, there's a image sensitivity and accessibility." So
Monkey,
Thank you for helping.
any
Monkey,
more
what was your
questions from the
question?
panel?
Yeah, I think
I
Monkey
did
had one.
have. Yes, and I also have a question after.
Basically, what I wanted to ask, because you and I have played some very similar rhythm games. So, is it the kind of rhythm game where notes approach a bar that are your inputs, somewhat like Unbeatable? Or is it a rhythm game where you are, I don't know how to put it, like matching flashy movements? Because for me, that is often the distinguishing factor of whether it affects my epilepsy or not. Because the point of focus is like an object reaching something and then activating it, as opposed to where like being focused on the screen.
So you get to it's not approaching the bar, sadly. You do have approach usually in 5 different positions, and you avoid them, right, in a way that you still have the notes coming at you, and you still focus on those. So not waiting for flash, but in the end, I would say that it's close to your second invitation than your first one.
I'm sorry,
You-
fellas. Sorry, fellas. We got a little Discord problem.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Internet, because I still hear you totally fine, email.
Yeah, it's just I think it's just me. Hello.
Hi, welcome back.
Hello.
Okay, I think we're all good.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Okay, so to summarize, while the notes still approach you, well, I don't know enough about how it affects you, right? I would assume that the way they approach you is closer to your second interpretation than your first one, but it still is notes approaching you, and you try to avoid them. So I could see you being able to play it. I would need to I would need to hear more details about
Yeah,
how it affects you.
That sounds very realistic for somebody that has epilepsy to play, because it's not like, how do I put it, like flashing inputs on the screen. So a good way to explain it to you, because this is something that I know you've probably experienced. Sorry, everyone else, I don't know if you know this, but in Unbeatable, there is a stage where you're with a baseball machine, pitching machine thing,
That's
and
too much.
the like the input that you see is a red circle, and when you hit the input exactly, the screen flashes red. So I would say that that's like completely different to like watching like notes or inputs on a bar get to like a location where you then have to dodge or hit or whatever the case may be. Just
Okay,
to
that
clarify,
helps.
that's kind of what I'm talking about.
That does indeed help. In that case, absolutely more the first interpretation, so more the notes coming to you. But there is a ton going on in the background, and with how the notes approach you. Like they are not starting to flash, but the screen is making sure that there's just a lot going on. Flashes are not the problem there.
I feel confident that I can play it without getting sick. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice.
Okay,
I do have one question.
Shoot.
Okay, go ahead.
So you had mentioned earlier about it's not an easy game, that there are times where you can get overwhelmed, but you can choose to set the difficulty. I noticed whenever you like hit that game over screen, there was an option to change the difficulty mid-fight. But can the game still be too difficult to make someone want to just put down the game and say, hey, I think this is above my skill level, I don't want to continue playing this?
I guess that always depends on the person, but in general, I think it is rather forgiving. As in, a song is what 2 to 3 minutes. A checkpoint is like there's like 1 or 2 checkpoints per song, so you only have to beat a minute, right? And if you mess up, you get set back to that specific minute before and get another chance to get to that same part. With the setting on easy, your health regenerates pretty quickly, so you can just avoid the notes for a second. And I would dare say that it is accessible enough, forgiving enough, that even someone who tends to rage quit has a high chance of progressing far into the game. Yes. So gameplay wise, I would say that unless you're going for really hard stuff, you're very likely to be able to finish the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm personally am someone who struggles with quick time decisions in a high pressure environment, and some of the combat that was shown looked to be as if I could like it could get a little overwhelming. I could lose my cool and just want to step back and say, okay, this might be over my head.
Yes. If that helps in any kind of way. It is a lot of notes. It is a lot of that's been thrown at you. But if you find a moment which happens when you have this quick reset, right? If you have a moment to just look at the screen, you will quickly realize that there's usually a spot on the screen that is pretty free where you can just stand around for like 10 seconds. Well, maybe not 10, but that's enough to regenerate your health. It's one of those cases where taking a moment to breathe and see what's on the screen helps a lot with reducing the difficulty, because you can see the tricks, where it gets easier.
Okay, thank you.
Hell yeah.
I think we're out of time.
Yep.
So let's give it up for Ema.
Thank you so much.
Clappies.
Clappies. Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Canis, you had a video, right?
I do, yes.
Okie dokie. Get that up.
Let me know when I press play.
Yep. All good.
Okay. Vampires. We all love them. They hold a big piece of the media market, and that's for good reason. But the question is, do they love themselves? And well, that is where you come in. In this gothic narrative adventure visual novel, you play as Sam Wells, a cowboy vampire who has decided to become a therapist for other vampires. This game, Vampire Therapist, is set in a German nightclub, owned by Andrew Makos, a 3,000-year-old vampire who teaches you how to become a therapist. And after you meet with 4 other vampires, you talk to them, you learn their stories, and you help them through their problems. And without too many spoilers, you have an English scientist and a Shakespearean stage actor, voiced by Cyrus Nemeti.
Satan bless it all, I hate flying!
Do not do so lightly. Darkness dwells within my damned soul.
An Italian aristocrat, voiced by Kylie Clark.
Space Wars. Rise of the Spacewalker.
And an Irish glitch streamer, voiced by Sarah Grayson.
You're cute, strange cowboy man.
Both Sam and Andy are also voiced by Cyrus Nemeti, who is the founder of Little Bat Games, the studio that makes this one.
And I guess I'd tell you to look at yourself a little more kindly.
Extend the same compassion to yourself then, Samuel.
Oh, and of course we cannot forget Matt Mercer with a German accent. Other than talking with clients and getting to know the others at the club, there are 2 minigames sprinkled in every now and then. Blood drinking and meditation. Now the meditation one for me is the more interesting one, as you see Sam's thoughts pop up, which gives you a look into what's going on in his mind. I really like that. Then there is the story of Sam. You learn his past, his goals for the future, and how all that is going on just slots in together. So my background is in psychology, and I have been through cognitive behaviour therapy as a patient, as well as writing a lot about it at university. So going through this game was interesting. The concepts you learn in the game are real therapy concepts, and the game teaches you them in such a way that you forget that you're learning, and in a way that sticks with you. I've read many reviews of the game from people explaining that they've started to notice the cognitive distortions that you learn in the game in real life, and that it's helped them improve their own lives. Now, this is no way me saying that this game is a replacement for therapy, because it's not. And even the devs have a disclaimer in the game saying it's not a replacement, but it is a way to learn about it without having your first experiences with CBT being via books that are needlessly complicated. And over the last few years, there's been a push for better understanding of mental health and therapy for the general public to help remove more of the stigma that surrounds it. And I feel like this game does just that. Of course, it's not exactly how a therapy session would go, but it does remove that layer of mystery around it. I feel like this game has a lot going for it. The humour of it is in the same vein as what we do in the Shadows and Horrible Histories. But it does explore a lot of sensitive topics like war, addiction, religion, abuse, and other things in a historical context that can be uncomfortable for some people. However, the game does not take a dismissive or trivializing approach to these topics. It comments on them in a thought-provoking way, and sometimes with a bit of humor to help process that trauma. This game gives the topics the time and respect that they deserve. And once you finish the game, there's even free DLC to dive more into the unlife of Andromachos. This was a thank you from the devs to all those who have played the game, talked about it, reviewed it, or showed any other form of love. There is also paid DLC, which is quite cheap, called Couples Therapy, in which you talk with a gay couple with an age gap of a few hundred years, as well as exploring more of German music culture. This is a game made with love, made with passion, and made for people to enjoy and experience. I hope when you get the chance to, you'll fall in love with it, like I have.
Let's give it up. Happy.
You'll fall.
Happy.
Clap, clap, clap. Hell yeah.
Clap, clap.
Thank you very much, Kenneth.
Shoot them clappies.
So, any questions?
In
so many.
yeah. I'm trying to think of where to start. It feels yeah. So I know you have your own personal connection to this, as you mentioned, with your psychology background and everything you did in uni.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that someone like me, where that's not the case, that I would be able to like bridge and make that connection that maybe you made, or would it be just something maybe entirely different for me?
I think it would be a different form of connection, unless like you did like generally enjoy it. But there still would be a lot that you could connect with, I think.
Okay. And just one little follow-up. How good/bad is the Irish accent?
It's really good.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Personally, I love the Irish accent that we heard in the video. It was peak and on point.
It sounded all right.
Hey, hold on. Wait, Holy. What was that word that you said there?
Oh, wait.
Oh! What did you say there?
Gollum.
Get her out of here.
Nailed. Clip it. Send it to Ben. Clip it.
It wasn't during my panel, though.
In your panel, you said essentials. You lost already.
So I do have a question. I'm trying to think of how to phrase it about kind of like the seriousness of the topics. I guess for someone who's interested in learning more about psychology, who maybe doesn't have a background in it like you or I do, would you say that, like, can you put yourself in the shoes of like someone who wants to learn more about psychology, like academically? Does this feel like a good place to start that, or would it be like misleading in any kind of way?
I guess it depends on what area of psychology academically someone wants to go into. If it is down the counseling route, then I feel like this is a good first step. You learn the 13, I think it is, or 11 different cognitive distortions. It gives a little vampire spin on a few of them, but it does give the idea of like this is kind of what you look for. This is kind of how conversations go. You get client notes that you can look at before and even during each session, so like to prepare yourself for everything. So if it's definitely down that route, I think it would be a good idea. Like they had a whole team of therapists in to make sure everything was correct.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool. Yeah, no, I think especially that last bit. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So I also have a question. In most games that have some heavy influence from psychology, I am afraid of the diagnostic being portrayed as the solution. Right, as soon as you figure out, hey, that's the problem, it's treated as, oh, you're done, you now figured it out. Is that the same case here, or are we spending more time with them after we figured out what was quotation marks wrong with them?
Okay, so without spoilers, when you get to meet a patient, there's already basically like an intake form, so they kind of already know what their problems are, and like within the first session, you kind of already get an idea of it, and you can point it out to them, and then you do have several more sessions afterwards, to kind of like not necessarily give them homework, but to talk to them about it, then give them time to process it, then they come back, and then you go through what's happened since then, and it carries on. You get to learn the whole story of it. You get to see the changes, how their patterns or the behaviors change, or if they don't.
Hell yeah, that sounds good. Thank you.
I had a question. Can you? Is it? I don't want to say like exactly the same, but is it similar to Date Everything, where these characters are in a shared environment that you could approach and then interact with to proceed with their story and therapy sessions? Or is it from like a menu that you just select what character story you want to dive into?
It's neither. You follow the thing of you meet one, then you meet another, then another. It's four main characters, so you talk with those
Kind of more
four,
like
and
a
then
schedule.
it's a schedule.
Okay.
You see them yeah.
So almost like a work day where they're coming to your office.
Yeah.
Okay.
They fly in.
Okay, thank you.
And boy, are their arms tired.
It's thought very, very quickly.
Wow, pipe down, little Roy. Okay. One thing I wanted to touch on was that you mentioned about the mini games with the meditation and the neck bites. Sort of how often are those, and are they like? Do you think they're like a needed change of pace, or are they welcome, or are they just a little bit of like, oh well, I'll get through this, then I'll get back to the guys?
So I'm not the biggest fan of the neck biting one, but there's a little button for you just to skip it if you want to. But it isn't just like, oh, I'm a vampire, time to feed, or anything like that. There's interactions with the people that you do feed from, which gives you a bit more of a glimpse at Sam and his story. The meditation one, it is a really nice change of pace. Same with like with Celeste with the feather to do the breathing. It's it's that style of thing of bringing that into it.
Okay.
I think we're out of time for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Give them another round of applause.
Clappies.
Clappy.
Thank you.
Clap, 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 clap. I'm so sorry, I was muted.
Yeah, one left. God,
I'm excited.
Okay, so you guys in Discord, I have Monkey's presentation.
Watch the bear.
Deep in the bind.
Oh, whoa, hold on, deep.
Here, let me go ahead and stop my stream also so that you can.
No, it's fine. That's fine. Deep. Okay, chat, you ready to go deep? Let's go.
I'm so ready.
Deep in the burning deserts, a distant town. Looming over the town, the monster tower. Within this gigantic ancient tower, a host of monsters swarms and breeds. Despite the long and hazardous journey, the town is a mecca for treasure hunters. They come seeking the golden hoards hidden in the tower, but even more, they're lured by the monster eggs, a prize found nowhere else. When a monster is grown from the egg, it can be tamed. Eggs and tame monsters fetch a high price in gold, and rare breeds of monster can make a vast fortune for the hunter. The town has grown rich from buying and selling monsters. So the town is called Munspire. You play a character by the name of Ko, a boy of 15 getting ready to enter the Monster Tower for the first time. This is a particularly important event for you, because after your father's death in the tower, your mother has been supporting your family of 3 alone, with nothing but the monster eggs he left behind. While your father may have been a legendary hunter, any respect he may have had is long lost, and Ko's family has been reduced to poverty. After an admittedly long intro born out of the fires of early JRPGs, you're finally able to approach the entrance of the tower. Except when you do, you're accosted by an intelligent monster capable of speech, claiming to be your father's old monster buddy who asks, quite politely, to join you as your first monster. Once entering the tower, your new friend will give you the thinnest tutorial ever of what you're about to face. Floors in the tower are randomly generated, crawling with monsters, and littered with traps and treasure. You'll navigate these floors with your buddy beside you. However, unlike most creature collector adjacent games, you fight alongside your monster friend to survive the trials of the tower. You can give orders to your monster directly, or you can fall back on a variety of AI options. Each monster will have an attack, a unique passive or special ability, and a combo attack where they power you up for a big ol' bonk. One of the core themes in Azure Dreams is mystery within the tower. Most items you will not know how to use without identification or experimentation. This is a strange and ever-shifting world, where only hardened hunters even see the 3rd floor. Information on the multitude of items, monsters, traps, weapons, and everything in between is very sparse, and throwing caution to the wind at the wrong time can have severe consequences. There is, however, an incredibly deep pool of items, and with the game systems allowing you to pick up and throw anything at anyone, there are an incredible amount of use cases in trying out items on enemies. Another mysterious and rare find in the tower is of course the monster egg. If you can return alive with one, you're able to hatch it and raise it, or sell it for a tidy sum of money. But escaping with your life can often be a risky proposition. The game could be considered as roguelite, creature collector, and JRPG all at the same time. The loop consists of you climbing the randomly generated floors of the tower, getting treasure, and leveling up in the hopes of surviving. After which you return to sell any items of no use, hatch eggs, and spend your growing wealth upgrading your home and town. All of your monsters will retain their experience, whether you live or die, but your character will always return to level 1 on exiting the tower. All items are lost on death, and you can only enter the tower with 6, including your equipment and monsters. There is hidden depth everywhere in Azure Dreams, and the monsters are no different. They are your standard elemental typings that one might expect, but you're also able to change your monster's typing on the fly, or fuse them for a specific trait. Additionally, most monsters will have a hidden evolution condition, and some are even capable of equipping a variety of weapons. Speaking of which, your character is able to equip a wand, or a sword and a shield, which often have their own hidden effects. While I can't in good faith say that Azure Dreams is a perfect example of a game essential to gaming history, I can confidently say that it's an essential for anyone who is a fan of deep roguelites and creature collecting. In blending genres which would one day grow to be some of the most popular in gaming, they were able to create something truly unique and full of depth and flavor. From the character portraits to the shifting opinions of the townsfolk, it's clear just how crafted this game is. And they would have taken it further too if they could have, with an entire second tower just lurking somewhere in the game files. What's the catch, right? Well, it's old, and it has all the trappings that come from games of that era, like an extremely unnecessary intro that every game that took itself seriously needed to have at the time. There's also no voice acting, and although the dialogue is generally minimal, many people don't really want to do all that reading. I would also say that while it looks decent for a game from the 90s, it's also hard for many people to enjoy it from a modern perspective. Ultimately, for me growing up, Azure Dreams was a story of pulling yourself out of poverty and improving the lives of those around you. And while I'm privileged as a South African, it is a narrative that really resonated with me. So I truly hope that people are able to look beyond its very clear flaws to see the shining gem of a game that it is.
Oh, well
Hell
done.
yeah.
Clappies.
Clappies,
Thank you so much.
clappies.
Clap, 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 clap.
Clappies, clappies.
Clappies.
Yeah, that is the first I've heard that game since you streamed it, Monkey. I don't know when. Which is the first
I
time
told
I
you
had
you
ever
weren't
heard of
gonna
it.
have played it.
Yeah, you were right.
So I have a question. How many monsters are there? Slash, you talked about fusions and evolutions. Do fusions have like unique appearances and everything, or is it more of just like a mechanical
So
thing?
fusions are more of a mechanical thing. So your dominant monster will take over after a fusion.
Sure.
But I actually can't give you an accurate amount of monsters that are in the game because there's so many different random monsters, and it's quite a niche game. So people haven't really seen all of the stuff unless they like actually dig into the game files. So you'll randomly
that.
see some stuff that like you never knew existed. And that's sometimes how I discovered that there are evolved forms of certain monsters. Because yeah, there is a real vast array, but I would say there are at least 40 like standard monsters within the tower. Probably more. But yeah, it's very difficult to say because like I mentioned in the video, the information that you get within the game is really sparse. And there is a lot of RNG with regard to how the tower is generated, how things are spawned, the types of creatures that are spawned. There is obviously, kind of like an outline for what should be where and whatever, but there is clearly an exception for things outside of the norm. Let me put it that way.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you.
I'm gonna ask a chat question to expand on it a little bit since it feels important. What console is this on, and how would you recommend people actually play it?
Oh,
Like, is there a
fantastic.
modern way of playing it or something?
Good question. This originally launched in Japan, I believe in 1995 on the PSX. And I think it was only then re-released in Europe in like 1997 or 1998, also on the PSX, but nowhere else as far as I'm aware. Now, there is such a thing as ethical piracy, and this is definitely one of those cases. Okay, hear me out. This is my main argument. Okay, there is no way you can buy this game. It is on the verge of being dead media. Very few people have played it, play it, or will continue to play it. And Bandai Namco does not need your money. So, do what you gotta do, biz the hawk, and enjoy some old content that would otherwise be dying.
Is the hawk. Love that.
My question was that if this game were to be picked up by Bandai and made into a modern remake or a recreation, imagining that they kept the majority of the systems the same but polished up a lot of dated areas, do you think you might be able to better recommend the game? In a hypothetical sense.
Absolutely. I think I would absolutely recommend that because on the strength of the gameplay alone, I would. My bird's being terrible. Sorry.
You're good.
We love the birds.
We love.
It's another
'cause I guess-
non-human EG essential.
Oh yeah. The question would really be like, would it carry itself on the strength of its mechanics alone, right? If it was pretty enough, would people want to play it? Absolutely, yes. Beyond a fathom of a doubt.
Okay. And do you
Um,
not think that the art style might be a little too similar to, because I noticed it looked very similar to almost like a Dragon Quest style art style, if
I
that were
think
to
that's
be
accurate to say. I think if you took like Dragon Quest and smashed it together with Pokemon somewhere in between there, but I would say it has slightly more adult themes, although it is presented to like a teen audience, and that's very clear. I think that it has a little bit darker themes that it deals with. Like I said in the video itself, you are up there fighting with your monster. So in the video footage itself, you probably saw me fighting more than my monster was, because my monsters are my friends, and they're there for moral support. And if I really need them, then I'm like, hey man, hook me up. But I just enjoy that mechanic and dynamic.
Okay, thank you.
I was just going to ask, in terms of like the actual gameplay itself and the way you were fighting, is it an active combat system? Is it turn-based? Is it like real time with pause? Like, what's the deal there?
So what's quite interesting is it's like it is turn-based, but not obviously, if that makes sense. So there is an overall kind of like turn order that is taking place. So like a movement would be a turn, and then somebody else around you would move or attack based on their speed within that situation. So yeah, like when you move, somebody else moves in that fashion. So it is turn-based, but it is not turn-based in the sense that they make it obvious.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I mean, it sort of looked to me like what Roy was saying, like the mystery dungeon-esque, like, you know, things won't happen unless you're doing something, right? It'll happen after you do something, but you've got time to think.
Yeah, exactly. So you can stop and think about whatever action it is that you want to do next, for as long as you want to, really. And as long as you don't do a specific type of action, you're fine. In fact, I think in the very, very minimal tutorial right in the beginning, they do tell you that if you hold down circle, you can pretty much look around or do whatever you want to without triggering any action.
Okay. Thank you.
Any last questions?
Nope.
I think
from me.
Given enough time at this point, I just wanted to ask. Okay. Let's give another round of applause. Clappies.
Thank you very much, Monkey. Clappies, clappies.
Clappies.
Now's the fun part.
6 games. Yep.
These were all really good.
Holy shamoly.
Yeah.
Looking back at it, I should have known. I actually should have known two people. I had no clue who brought what, but I should have known two.
Yeah. Very, very, very interesting lineup. It's going to be tough. So this is the tough part for the panel. We're going to go in presentation order. So it'll start with me. We're going to give our top three. So first place will get 3 points. Second place will get 2 points. Third place will get 1 point. And Monkey will tally it up. Not Monkey, sorry, I'm seeing Monkey. Roy will tally it up and give it. I'm seeing Monkey in chat. I'm so distracted.
Monkey, you have a new
Monkey. You've been promoted. So in chat, as I said at the start of the show, please no spoilers. If I say, you know, if someone says Sayonara Wild Hearts is stinky, I don't like it, Yugi's presentation was crap, don't put that in chat. Hit us with like the message deleted. Try and be clever with it. But try to keep it a surprise for us as it's revealed. You guys can tally up if you want, or you can just try to get a vibe, do whatever, but no spoilers in chat. And then after all that, we'll give you guys in chat the poll, and you can vote for the second inductee of the 5 games that are left. So I would ask my fellow panelists to deafen up, because I'm going to be giving my reasoning. And then I will tag you, Eddie.
Leave the room.
Okay.
Alex will have to call me back.
Okay, Alex, you're on monkey duty.
She's on monkey duty. See you guys in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Can Ema still hear me? Or is
what? I'm here.
Deafen up. I can talk. He's trying to get spoilers. This is really difficult. I know I say it like every time, but this is like legitimately difficult. Fuck, dude. Right. Okay. I think the argument for Black Mesa was very strong from Eddie. I think that's going to be my number one pick. I think I tend to agree that it did so much for the genre. It is the definitive way to play a classic and have it be modernized. So I think that's me locked in on that, because I liked Eddie's arguments. Probably did a better job than I could, even though I wanted to bring that game eventually. But I think it really did nail what makes Black Mesa such a great game. Especially if you have played other shooter games. You know, it has that little added context, but it'll change how you see other shooters and how they borrowed from it. So I think that's definitely my number one. My number two. Oh God. I'll my number two. I'll go with Azure Dreams. I think Monkey's presentation has swayed me at the end there. I think it's a really cool game. It's the kind of stuff that I like. I think it's weird enough, and you know, if you say, oh, here's a precursor to Mystery Dungeon, you know, it's just so out there and interesting. So I'm definitely going to give that 2 points. I appreciate when somebody can acknowledge a flaw. So I appreciate that Monkey was able to do that, because not every game's perfect. Not every game's going to be for everybody, but you know, having to try and convince people to try the game is the hard part, I think, and the important part. And then my last spot, my 1 point, I hate it. This sucks. I think it will go to Holy. With Leaf Green, because I think it is a timeless classic. It is a remake, but it is like the definitive version of a game that is still being played all this time later. It's such a good starting point. It has such a wide community. The base game is fantastic in its own right, and then there's the extras that Holy mentioned as well. I think that's good enough reasoning, right? I'm sorry to Ema and Canis. This was tough. I hated this. But yeah. I hope Eddie's in chat. Eddie. Smile. Thank you.
Hello. Hello, chat. How are you all? This is really hard. This is a really, really hard choice. This is really rough. These were all so good. These are all so good. Like, so good. Like, the one that I'm the least moved by is, like, Leaf Green, which, like, considering I do enjoy Pokemon, like, you know, that's kind of saying a lot, right? Hope Eddie picks a game. Yeah, me too, Dinah. Me too. That might be a tall ask. There's so much going for each of these. Like, I mean, Sayonara Wild Hearts, absolutely beautiful game. I adored my time with it. I mean, Leaf Green, obviously, Kaizo, the importance that it has to the community, like the impact, you know, that it has had, just, you know, kind of on so many different gaming communities in general, right? As far as and gaming itself, right? Everhood is a game that I have been intending to try for like forever, especially like more recently. It even recently got onto my bingo board, and that presentation absolutely made me want to play it more. Vampire Therapist looked fantastic. It looked really well crafted. The presentation was really tight. Like, this is so tough. This is so tough. Azure Dreams I want to play that game now. I've never heard of it. I've literally never heard of Azure Dreams before that presentation. And before the presentation was over, I was considering, finding a game to knock off my bingo board so I could put it on there. And if that doesn't speak to the argument, to the presentation, then I don't know what does, right? This is really hard. Oh man. This is tough. I know I haven't said even one of my votes yet. Please forgive me. So, man, I think that the one that there's like 3 games that I want to give, third / like second place. And it's tough. One of them's got to hit the floor. Okay. So I think I'm going to give Vampire Therapist third place. I think that it looks really, really well crafted. I think that it was a very good presentation. The main thing I think is that it feels weird to say that not everyone could get something out of therapy, because I don't think that's true. I think everybody should go to therapy, but I think that maybe a video game is maybe not about vampires, right? Is maybe not going to resonate with as many people. But I do think that it's really, really good, and I think it's really excellent that that topic is being covered in really creative ways to make it more accessible to other people, right? So I think that's going in at 3 for me. It's so. This is so tough. Forgive me. Forgive my slowness and my indecision. I'm between. The thing is that the last 3 games, I'm still. Oh man, I don't. This is tough. So I'm really between Everhood and Azure Dreams, because I think both presentations were fantastic. Both of them made me want to play the game. The thing is that Everhood was a game I already knew about and I already did want to play, right? And so it's hard for me to compare these, because I've never heard of Azure Dreams, but Monkey managed to, in just that about 5-minute presentation, take me from 0 to I want to play it. I want to find somewhere to put it on my bingo board, right? And that's really impressive. Everhood, I already put on my bingo board, right? So I don't have the same kind of comparison that I can make, even though it was also a really good presentation, and it's also a game that I'm excited to play, right? So I think I'm going to give second to Azure Dreams and first to Everhood, based on argumentation. I think that Sayonara World Hurts is such a beautiful game, and I really think that it deserves to be an essential. I do. But I think that most of these games deserve to be essentials. I think basically all of them do. This is a very good cast, or this is a very good lineup. But I think that those are my votes. I think that I have Vampire Therapist in third place. Fuck, I don't even remember the order I said. I think it was Azure Dreams in second, and then Everhood in first. That's how much of a toss-up it is in my head. You got the order? Okay, thank you, Roy. Okay, yeah, I'll stop yapping. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Everybody, get a snack, get a beverage. Be nice when Holy is talking to you. Sit patiently. Make sure to take notes. It will be on the test. Love you all. Bye.
Howdy, howdy. Am I just granted the floor? Yep. Okay. Thank you. So, for my votes for the Epilogue Essentials, I definitely just need to start with Eddie's Half-Life Black Mesa because it, like Eddie said, it truly is such a historical landmark on gaming history, the culture, the impact that it had, and being able to have it in such a new, refined, definitive way, I think was very convincing for me, and that you don't necessarily need to play the first one, as I've not played a single Valve game. I've not played Half-Life, Half-Life 2, I've not played Portal, I haven't played a single Valve game. And so being able to be told, hey, this really good game that is a landmark on gaming history, you don't need to play the original. You don't need to go back to 1998 and go play the original if you don't want to. And the game just looked so gorgeous to me as well. Eddie did a very good presentation on it that I truly think I need to have that as my number one pick for an EG Essential. For number two, probably would need to be Vampire Therapy. And for one big thing, I think it is so important for people to be able to play and actually learn some of those concepts. Now, it is not meant to be, like Candace had said, it is not meant to be a stand-in for therapy. However, being able to teach people some of these really important, not necessarily themes or like stereotypes, profiling people or any way, but being able to recognize some of these patterns within the game in a very like safe environment to where you can, and if you are incorrect, they, I would assume that you would get not necessarily reprimanded for it, but you would be told. And being able to tell that in a safe place and being able to like, oh, well, no, actually, it would be this pattern, I think is so key to help people learn and understand other people better. Being able to use what you've learned in these games and also apply that in real life scenarios, I think it's just such an important thing. I think everyone should be able to learn and pick up. Now, the game may not necessarily be for everyone. Not everyone enjoys like a more visual novel-esque gameplay. It's not as engaging to like focus in on as if like Everhood or Half-Life Black Mesa. It's less interactive, but it's more reading and connecting with these characters that is the reason that I pull it from my top spot, I think. As for my third vote, I definitely think Sayonara Wild Hearts, because Yogi did such a very good presentation, and it was like, I think he said that it was nominated for a couple of different awards as well. It was shown and released on Game Awards night. It has such like this high ceiling to reach. And for like just such a short time, like short chunk of your time, I think he only said it was like an hour's worth to finish the game, but there's replayability to it. It feels like a lot of value for a short time, so it's not like a massive RPG that you need to commit yourself to. It's not like, oh wow, Xenoblade Chronicles is such a fantastic story, but I need to sink 100+ hours into it to really play through the game and understand all the different aspects. It's just like a small bit, and it does look like such a visual treat. And as I mentioned before, while he was playing the video, I went onto Steam and wishlisted it myself, just so I can come back to it later and be able to experience it for myself. And I think that is just such a great thing. But I think the biggest thing that held it back for me is that short time. Like if it was more like 5-6 hours, it would probably bump up to my number one. But just being 1 hour's worth, I think, is what hurts the most. I think that's it for me. I wish I could have squeezed Everhood in there as well. And Azure. I would love to play Azure Dreams. It sounded like such a good game for me. I don't think I could personally back it with my vote as being an EG Essential. But for myself, I think I would absolutely love this game. I love the RPG. I love like creature collecting. I'm not big into roguelikes, but it didn't feel like a Metroidvania roguelike, like Hollow Knight or Dead Cells and some of these other games that are more roguelike-esque. I'm very excited to play Azure Dreams. I think that's it for me. Let me do Ima. And thank you all for your time. I love you.
That's gotta be a lie, right? She's not done. For real? Hi, friends. I assume that you can hear me again. Hi. So let's talk about mine then. I'm just shocked. I thought I'd have more time. Hi, frienders. Our top three. Let's go. I have a very clear number one. I have a very clear number two. No, wait. Should I actually wait? No. She's messing with me, isn't she? Okay. So number one is let's be real. Number one is the cheat code, the getting yourself the opinions of other EG members, right, and showing them off was an incredible start. I definitely feel like Yogi's Sayonara Wild Hearts representation was basically winning from the start. I was amazed. I was in love. I haven't played the game yet. I know that I want to play the game, and I feel like I kind of have to pull it up next, basically, right? So Bear gets absolutely number one here. And the next one is Monkey. Monkey with Azure Dreams has very well represented an old game. And you can 100% see and feel how much he adores that one. It feels a lot like Azure Dreams is something that he personally resonates with a lot, and you know how much that means to me, right? So an easy pick for me here as well. The thing where it gets interesting is spot three, because well, those were so easy. I can't decide. I swear to God, it's really, really hard. I love that Holly went ahead and represented without a video or anything, and her points were very, very clear. She has mentioned everything and things that I forgot about the game as well. It's good input. We also had Canis, who is amazing when it comes to bring up his special games, right? And oh God, with his connection to psychology, and it is hard to not pick Canis here, and then we also, oh my God, it's just everyone was so good. Everyone was so freaking good, friends. It is so mean to have to pick something here. I think I have to go with Kenneth. I think that I have. I hate this. I hate this. Can we not can we not start letting everyone win? Holy shit. No, for real. Friends, I think I have to pick Canis for number 3 here. So Yogi, Monkey, Canis, Sayonara, Wild Hearts, Azure Dreams, and Vampire Therapist, I think is what it was called, right? Yeah, that's what we do. I feel like I'm done way too quickly, but I'm gonna do the thingy. I'm gonna send a message. Thank you so much for listening, friends. Let's give Canis the next turn. See you in a couple of minutes.
Alright, perfect. So 2 things before I get into my my votes. One, Yogi is stinky, and Wild Hearts is stinky. No, both are not actually. Everyone did absolutely incredible. I loved all their presentations. Well done to everyone. It's very, very tough to pick, but I am not going to be like Eti or Ima or anything like that. It's just as simple as I think first place is a game that I had no plan on playing, but I am going to play it now, which is Eti's Black Mesa. That's first place for me. Second place is Yogi with Sayonara Wild Hearts. And my third place is Monkey with Azure Dreams. Yeah, everyone else did awesome, but yeah, that's yeah, those are my votes. Now to tag Elix and Monkey.
Okay. Are we all good and muted and stuff? Okay. So I'm going to start from well, I picked a top 3 because that's what I was told to do. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll start from my third one, and I'll just like explain each as I go through. So my number 3 pick is Sayonara Wild Hearts. And there is quite a lot of reasoning behind that. Namely all the artistic stuff. So Alex and I obviously use quite a lot of Sayonara Wild Hearts music in Play Plump, and I'm a big fan of their use of color and color theory within their game. And unfortunately, I see it as a big pity that I probably can't try it for myself. But yeah, I think what they've done artistically is really, really cool, and managed to carry an entire game based on that artistic strength, just about. My number 2 pick is Black Mesa. And quite honestly, I think Eddie made a really, really good argument for Black Mesa. I think that it's pretty clear to most anybody that have been in the gaming sphere over the last few decades just how impactful a game like Half-Life has been, especially within the realm of like in-depth first-person kind of experiences. So, I mean, I think that that's very clear why I would put it quite so highly. And then obviously the Black Mesa added on top of that is pretty much just a crowning achievement of people coming together and creating something amazing. I think that it is probably the best way to play the game. And I mean, just off the strength of the original game itself, that's still being played and loved today. And then my final and pick for number 1 is Vampire Therapist. And the reason that I've chosen Vampire Therapist is that it is also a groundbreaking game. But unlike other games which are breaking ground in like directions that allow you to shoot people more cool, or like lob grenades more accurately or realistically, or have destructible environments, I feel like they're breaking ground in a direction where they are introducing people to therapy in a way that is digestible and understandable for a modern audience in a way that most media can't. And I think that there's huge value there, and definitely breaking new ground. So yeah, in any case, that's my short, sweet, to the point choices. Is there a Roy somewhere?
Hello, I guess we should bring everyone back in.
Hello.
Came back.
I just need Holy to get back. All right. So I have all the votes tallied, and this is going to be very interesting.
Uh-oh.
I'm just going to say straight up, we have a three-way tie for second.
Oh,
okay.
It's gonna be a first. Holy
We
shit.
did it. We managed to keep all the games from getting banned.
Well, I think our ruling means one of those three actually does not get saved. It's not saved.
Oh
But
no.
the other two have the exact same votes between them, so it's...
Ooh.
All right, I guess I'll go from bottom up. The bottom two that are not involved in any of the tops, we have Pokemon and Everhood. Unfortunately.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Which is weird considering like Everhood was probably my top pick here, and Pokemon is the one I feel like is the biggest in the community.
Everhood was what I gave my number one vote to, yeah.
Now the one that's probably like we have a three-way tie for second. But the one that's at the bottom end of that, I think, is Azure Dreams. Azure Dreams.
What do you mean by bottom end if they're tied?
It's based on whichever... the tiebreaker is whichever one got the most first place votes from the panelists.
I see.
And then it's like second most, then if they both got the same first place, then it's whoever got the most second place.
I see. And you said two of the three actually can't be tie broken that way.
Yeah, because they got the same exact one first, 1 second, 2/3. So it's like...
I see.
Azure Dreams, though, is a different way that it didn't get any first place votes, so technically it's, I think, the one that's not safe. The other two that are safe, though, since they both tied for second in this way, are Sayonara Wild Hearts and Vampire Therapist. Which, of course, means our new Epilogue Essential is Black Mesa.
Hey.
Holy.
Wow.
Half-Life 3 got in.
Well done.
Thank you so much,
go.
everybody.
Okay, let me scramble and make this poll real quick. Congratulations, Eddie. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
I do have a question. Were we allowed to vote for our own games?
No.
I didn't.
No.
I didn't think so, but I wanted to make sure.
that.
So that means that the most amount of points you can technically get is 15 if everyone else like votes yours as number one. 3 times 5. I think we've only ever had that happen once, but it is possible.
Well, I will post the poll. It'll be 5 minutes, chat. So get your votes in. It is the 5 games that are left: Sayonara Wild Hearts, Pokemon Leaf Green, Everhood, Vampire Therapist, and Azure Dreams. Off you go.
Can
Get your
we, as
votes
the
in.
panelists, vote in the channel poll?
Up to you.
I feel like a chatter. I've chatted a lot in here. I got a chat voice.
Chatter.
I will abstain because I don't want to see what the results are or how it's going. But
Wait, hold on. Why can't I vote for 3 different things? What the hell?
3? I thought we could vote for 5.
That's what it felt like everyone wanted to do, was vote for 5.
I genuinely, like, oh man. See, what we need is I can vote for 1, but 2 2s and 3 3s, and then I'm fine. Like, then I only have to pick 1 game to not give points.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, Eddie, so Black Mesa was on my list, as was Half-Life 2, and has been for a while. So yeah, I mean, the fact you sort of like stole that away from me, and you got it in because I even said in my points, I'm like, you probably did a better job than I could have.
Thank you. I was low key. I was super unsure about this pick initially, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna replay it to try to like, get myself into the headspace. And going into this, I was actually totally satisfied, even if it was going to get banned, because I had such a good time with my replay. I was like, bringing it was worth just like making me do the replay. I had a really great time with it, and really felt the passion come back after the replay, which I was really happy with.
Nice. Yeah, it was just too tough for me. I was like, okay, well, I think I'm convinced by the Black Mesa argument, so let's get that one done, and then I'll agonize later. Because it sucked. I think somebody mentioned in chat, it's like, oh, everybody's saying I hate this because
yeah.
How the fuck do you pick?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, I mean, I give my points to Azure Dreams and Fire and Leaf Green. Just Leaf Green, sorry, not the 2-in-1 combo.
Yes. Very distinct.
As well as Black Mesa, but yeah, it tough times, man. Tough out here. Well, I hope you enjoyed your experience. If you were on for the first time, I hope it wasn't too nerve-wracking, and if I hope you were on the second time, I hope it was better than the first time.
Yeah, I got points this
I'll
time.
be thrilled if someone just plays the game I brought. You know?
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Truly.
Monkey. That's the
Monkey,
freaking play.
What I was saying, so like Azure Dreams is what got my second vote. And I was saying to chat, I was like, chat, I've literally never heard of this game in my entire life, and Monkey in about 5 minutes made me want to knock another game off my bingo board just to make room for this because I want to play it.
See, that's the thing.
Well, that makes me very happy.
The only reason I know it is because I watched Monkey stream it. So I haven't heard of it outside of that.
You are all under orders to let me know if you ever see any of our friends playing Azure Dreams.
Absolutely.
I think there's a high likelihood that you'll see a couple of us play too.
I think that might be going around here in a minute.
Well, Monkey, if you remember, you spent like 50,000 channel points in my stream to make me put it on the wheel.
Oh yeah.
So it's
I
already
did
been
that in
planned
Baldens
to
as
play.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ethical
I
piracy.
also-
Getting desperate.
Yeah, I wanted to make a note about ethical piracy for for Leaf Green as well. But with it having a newer Switch release, I feel like I couldn't quite do that.
Yeah, harder to make that argument like comfortably when Nintendo's lawyers are like, we just
Yeah, and that's why I
released a
spun for the
report
emulator
of this.
because,
Yeah.
like, if I were to talk about like ethical piracy, like the amount of like people who have straight up pirated Fire Red Leaf Green is, oh my god.
Indeed.
No, we could have a whole panel on ethical piracy.
We could.
What game do you think that everyone should play, but also you think that they should only play it if they pirate it?
Well, there it is. Azure Dreams is the
Let's
next
go.
Epilogue Essential.
Hell yeah.
Interesting.
Hell yeah.
Very interesting
That's such
episode.
a strong like first pick to bring. Have you done a Essentials, Monkey?
No.
No. This is the first time. I thought somebody else won. I was like, what?
Nope. It's you.
Chat voted for you.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I'm really happy. Again, I didn't think my game was gonna win. I was just, keen to have an opportunity to show people the game, and just in the off chance that maybe somebody plays it and I get to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Well,
I mean, that's the goal of all of the we know that already.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. That was like one of the things I was thinking during my replay of Black Mesa. I was like, I almost regretted playing it because I was like, man, I would have really liked to stream this. I would have really liked to talk with people about this game. But then I was like, no. That's the whole point. I'm going to get other people to play the game, and then I'll go talk about it in their stream.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, good job all around, everybody. Thank you so much for joining.
Absolutely. Everyone did so good.
Absolutely. I do want to make a quick point. I was notified off on the side that the panels on the Epilogue Gaming TV page the Twitter and
Yep.
website panels are actually swapped.
They are indeed. I have brought that up in the staff Discord, and nothing has been. Maybe I can fix it. Maybe I'll do it.
Okay, I was unaware if that was already brought up before.
Well, chat.
One thing I did want to ask is, are we going to have access to like highlights of each of the arguments available on the website, like just for posterity?
So Lucor is putting the episodes on the Epilogue Gaming YouTube channel.
Oh hell yeah!
So he downloads the VOD, sticks them on there. So we have them all. We have as many as we could. A couple of episodes from season 1 are lost media at this point, unfortunately, but yeah, everything from season 2 is on there. So this will be on there because Lucor is doing such a good job with that. But mentioning epiloguegaming.com, there is an essentials page. I'll put that there, which will be updated to have all of the essentials in it. It will have the episode listings. So if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see the episodes, who was on the episode, who brought what, who got banned, who made it in, everything. Yeah, everyone DM Band Ascend episode 3 and 5. Let's go. So anyone on the panel, Lucor might DM you for, a little likeness for the thumbnail or something, but yeah, just keep an eye out for that. But yeah, check out the website, chat. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for voting. Thank you everybody for hanging out. And yeah, it was an interesting episode. I think we're gonna head on over to our friend Varlden to
hell yeah
keep it in the EG sphere.
Absolutely.
But make sure you're following. I tried to do shout outs for everybody throughout the show. Make sure you're following. Their names are in the title. So thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Holy. Thank you, Ema. Thank you, Canis. Thank you, Monkey. And thank you, Roy. Again, Roy makes
And
this
thank
whole
you,
thing
Yogi.
tick.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bear.
Thank you. So I'll get this raid set up, and we'll do the old classic. You are an Epilogue Essential, as the raid message.
Though it's kind of ironic that this game we're running into is one that
is not an essential.
But I was looking at the vote. Nothing got banned, right?
Everhood.
Everhood got banned?
It was tied for second, I thought.
No, Everhood was not tied for second. Everhood was in the back.
No.
Everhood was down on the back
And
burner.
As Your
thingy.
Dreams got tied for. Well, it was like on the other end that didn't get tied.
Okay.
Won the vote, so that didn't matter.
Forgive me. Memory lapse. I was manifesting it. Forgive me.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have one single ban.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ema, but
it's okay. I survived this. I'll handle this. I'll just thrive from the last episode. I can handle this.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye, chat. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, chat.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for being
Bye.
here.